Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about how we launched the Linux Foundation Certified IT Associate exam, and just talk about some of the record time that we did to build and design that exam. So a couple of things. Our main goal at Certiverse is really about trying to make exams more accessible to test takers, right? So if you think about what that means just reducing the cost of exams to test takers. The lower the cost of a certification exam, the more test takers out there that can afford to take that exam, and therefore that exam is accessible to more people. Exams and certifications are life-changing events. It's changed my life, and it's changed the life of a lot of people who've taken those certification exams, and therefore we really want to focus on getting those costs down so that more people can get certified and have more access to that. So when you talk about reducing costs to the test taker, so what does that mean? It really boils down to a couple of things, but primarily it means reducing the cost of the exam development process. So to launch a brand new exam, it's extremely costly. You have to do a JTA. You have to hire psychometricians. You have to organize and facilitate a job task analysis. You have to send surveys out, and then once those surveys come back out, you have to get everybody back into the room to help design the final blueprint. All of that is costly, and one of the reasons why that's costly, it's because that model hasn't evolved much, and it's really dependent on having everyone in the same room, whether it's in the same place or it's in it's having everybody on in a Zoom call. It's about having that face-to-face time. So we really focused on trying to develop a psychometrically valid process that didn't require that, and really focused on allowing people to contribute to the JTA and blueprint development process on their own time, right? So that means an asynchronous model. So that means not having to hold one single Zoom meeting. That means not having people fly. Obviously, nobody's flying these days, but even the Zoom meeting is really a very costly event, because you're asking people to take time off from their work today so that they can participate in designing a new certification. And we really just want to completely eliminate that. We just don't think that's the future of exam development, and it's costly, and also it limits who can participate in the process. So that's the number one thing. The other secondary to that is really about time to market, right? So when you think about an IT certification exam, an IT technology and a model or a service is really it really has a shelf life, right? That means that IT certification is only good for a certain amount of time. So the longer it takes for you to get that IT certification out to the marketplace, the less time you have to basically recoup those costs. So let's just imagine that if you have an IT certification that is important to the marketplace, right, and very relevant, and let's say that certification has a 2-year lifespan. Well, if it takes you 1 year to get that certification out to the marketplace, that means that you only have 1 year left to recoup the costs, right? So what we want to do is we want to get exams out there quicker, design faster, and get them out to the marketplace quicker, so that you can have a much longer period to recoup any cost. And by doing that, that means that you're going to be able to have a lower per delivery per candidate fee. So those are the two things, right? Those are really the goals of reducing the cost. So again, it's really about asynchronous technologies. That's really what it comes down to. So I can talk a little bit about how the JTA process worked. Basically, it was great. It was very simple. We did it over 10 days. Instead of trying to cram everybody over a Zoom call over 2 days, we allowed people to take their time to do it in their mornings, to do it in their evenings, to do it in during their breaks, and also on their weekends, right? And basically, that also allows more people to participate in the process. So we had people from around the world participate in the process, and because we didn't have to train them on writing tasks, the system is very automated. It helps individuals write tasks they watch a 5-minute video on how to write a test, but the system guides them through that, it meant that they spent less time in the system. And on average, all those subject matter experts spent 35 minutes helping develop or write the test for this, participate in the JTA for this exam. So a couple of things. We applied that same model to the blueprint. So once we've received those results back from the survey, we had that empirical data, and then again, it was really about designing that final blueprint and having subject matter experts participate in that. Again, it was an asynchronous process. There wasn't a Zoom call. It was really more about reading some instructions and understanding, what the subject matter experts have to do to participate. And that whole entire process, we did it over 3 days, and with a total of 3 hours spent on that. So that meant that we didn't have to hold a call, and again, we allowed the SMEs to help contribute to that on their own time. So I think the biggest kind of difference here is really when you talk about the exam development process, right? So because we didn't have to coordinate a meeting to hold these events, we were able to do it asynchronous. That meant that the exam process moved quicker. And we were able to basically, from start to finish, that means from the initial JTA to getting all the items written and reviewed, it took a total of 7 weeks. That's it. I think we could have done it quicker, but obviously this is a new platform for us, even though we built it, and it's a new platform for the client. So we took a little bit of time, but I think that we can ultimately beat that record. So anyways, thank you very much for watching this video, and let me know if you have any questions or if you want a demo of the system, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you.